All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024. This is episode 709 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour or so, me, you, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, Alana Boyajian, Ms. Julian, Nail Girl, Jose Alfredo, Port Zero up in the upstate, Brent B. Not only IT, it's been a minute. Phil Stafford, how you doing, Flakinator, Dream Logic, Janessa Visser, Space Taco, Marcus Kyler of the E Crew, Tom Bishop of the Boot. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. And I'll be breaking it down with my expert opinion and analysis. I do have 20 years of experience in the industry, so I've got some perspective, I have some thoughts, and I try to apply them to these stories to dig deeper than just the headline and give you some context of what this story means for like the greater picture, or more importantly, how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders. What's up, Jenny Housley and Kimberly can fix it in the mod chat. Guys, and if you're looking to break in the industry, I want you to know this is inclusive and for everybody, including you. You will be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? This here is a phenomenal answer. On top of that, you're going to be getting exposed to concepts, see how they interrelate with each other. When you're studying for Sec Plus or taking a cybersecurity course, everything's kind of like modular and one-off. You don't see how they interplay with each other. And by looking at real stories and digging deeper, you do see that interplay, which to me helps with learning, retention, and the ability to communicate effectively. So that's what we're doing here. On top of that, good morning, Kathy Chambers. How you doing? Good morning. What I also want to tell you is the networking is phenomenal. And I actually had someone, and you guys don't have to pile on this, but I had someone comment on the comments saying, oh, like this seems like a bro fest where Jerry's yelling out people's names and it's like, oh, like you guys got your own little clique going, like whatever, like it's high school. Actually, quite the opposite. I promote support, inclusion. These are core brand values of Simply Cyber. And whether it's your first day or your 709th day, you get the same treatment. You get the same love. Show up, say what's up. I'll scream out your name. It's all about good times. All about good times, not a bro fest to that particular commenter. Now, before we get into it, I want you all to know that I don't research or prep for any of the stories. I got into my studio about 10 minutes ago, made a pot of coffee about 20 minutes ago, so we're off and running. Sean Kelly's in chat. Good morning, Sean Kelly. Good morning. Looking forward to covering the stories with 100% fewer repeat stories. Oh, my gosh. So funny. All right, guys. Now, before we get into it, let me give a little shout out and love to the stream sponsors, starting with Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Now, cyber attacks can suck. They can cause massive issues for businesses, and they can send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But guess what? Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Believe that. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Think of them as digital firefighters who can basically sort out the business if a threat actor has compromised your environment, data, exfil. You're dealing with like nasty, nasty business, and you obviously want to get back up and running. Well, then don't look no further than barricadecyber.com. Also want to say shout out and love to ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker, longtime sponsor coming in hot, or will be committed long time. We got a special little video, so let's watch that. 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And then we're going to be shredding the news. Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. All right. Now, thank you so much to ThreatLocker. I want you all to know that each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat. Get those CPEs, get those CEUs, and just say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot, file it away. It's essentially your evidence. Because I don't take roll call, I don't require you to register to be here. I can't send you a CPE certificate after the show's over because I literally don't know if you're here or not here. So it's incumbent upon you to take that initiative and grab a screenshot, say what's up in chat, hashtag Team SC if you hashtag Team SC if you want something easy to say. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet with a super chat. Thanks, James. Greetings from sunny Portugal. Port Glass cheers. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you here. Hashtag Team SC. Thanks, James McQuiggan. James McQuiggan doing a Western European feature over there. So, yes. Now, what else do I want to say? Oh, if it's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. First timer in chat. We love saying hello to our first timers. We have a special sound effect, a special emote, and we love using them. I love using them. Also, if you got a job or breaking in and you're ready to reveal it, let us know, because we have a special meme, I guess, for you all. One second. All right. It's a beefy upgrade. All right. Hey, so check it out. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Got that football season going, college, pro, whatever your jam is, it's there. Do me a favor, guys. It's time to go to work. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome way. I will see you guys at the mid-roll. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
Whoa. Hold the phone. Mason Brown, ladies, gentlemen, friends, let us welcome Mason Brown and Jenny949. Welcome to the party, pal. Love it. Here we go. We got our John McClane emote, our John McClane sound effect. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, let's roll, baby. Hold on, Rich464, help desk at the hospital. New job for me. Walking in now. Well, as you're walking in, Rich464. Yes, sir. You don't have to just walk in. You can come in like a wrecking ball. And if you guys didn't know, we got the new meme here to go alongside the sound effect here. There we go. Nice job, Rich464. Go crush it today, my friend. You got this.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, September 16th, 2024. I'm Sean Kelly.
What's up, AA Witherspoon?
Fortinet confirms customer data breach. Cybersecurity giant Fortinet has confirmed it suffered a data breach after a threat actor claimed to steal 440 gigabytes of files from the company's Microsoft Azure SharePoint server. Early Friday morning, a threat actor said they moved the trove of stolen data to an S3 bucket where other threat actors can now download it. The threat actor claims they tried to extort Fortinet, but the company refused to pay the ransom. Fortinet confirmed customer data was stolen from a third-party cloud-based shared file drive, but said the incident affected less than 0.3% of its customer base. The company also said the incident did not involve any data encryption, ransomware, or access to Fortinet's corporate network.
Oh my God. Okay, a couple of things here. Preemptive sorry, Kennedy. So Fortinet, they make all sorts of like security devices, like network gear security devices. This threat actor calls themselves Fortibitch, which just seems very targeted. It seems very targeted. And basically, I'm a little confused because they said a third party customer or partner of Fortinet had it leaked, but then it also says Fortinet's Azure SharePoint. So it's not crystal clear to me who's at fault here. Basically, it sounds like an Azure SharePoint instance was misconfigured and a threat actor discovered it, and data exfilled, tried to extort Fortinet. Fortinet told them to suck an egg. They're not going to pay them. And in response to that, they posted it on an S3 bucket for anyone to take. Now, the S3 bucket doesn't matter. They could have posted it anywhere. Mega uploads if it's 2007 or wherever. They just made it available. And basically, threat actors everywhere are scooping up this data. Now, another interesting thing here is that Fortinet says First of all, they said it didn't involve encryption. So, like, I guess they said it like it's a good thing, but the way I hear it is we didn't encrypt the data at rest. So that's not good. If it was on a SharePoint, though, chances are it was supposed to be accessed, just not by these threat actors. 440 gigabytes of data, and they said it only affected 0.3% of their customer base. I think there might be some funny math going on here. Where they think that like anyone who is, I mean, I guess technically anyone who's ever bought or touched a Fortinet device could be considered a customer. So they're, I don't know, 440 gigs is a lot of data. That's half a terabyte. It's not infinite data, but you could fit a lot of hot dogs inside of a 440 gigabyte hot dog roll if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I that as a person, I'm like, that seems a little sussy sus. Sounds like you could go download this data if you wanted. I don't recommend it. I mean, if it's publicly available, it's publicly available. But sounds like you might be running through mud and getting your clothes dirty unnecessarily. All right, let's see if it was stolen from a third-party cloud-based share file drive. So misconfigured. Either misconfigured or they got access to credentials and logged in, likely without MFA. Let's see. Oh, it says that communicate with customers appropriately. So maybe it was a lower amount. Whatever. This isn't a good look. Here's the thing, guys. At the end of the day, I hate to be so insensitive to the people who were impacted by this, but check this out. At the end of the day, this is not great that they had this third-party file share compromised or this Azure SharePoint, but we are paid, cyber pros, we are paid to protect an organization, limit the likelihood of an attack being successful, limit the impact of successful attacks from happening. But at the end of the day, it's cyber resiliency, making sure that the business keeps operating. You cannot, and this is a fact, so put this on a bumper sticker or a shirt. You could even tattoo it because it's not going to change ever. You cannot eliminate all risk at all and still be a viable business, right? You could close the business. I guarantee you if Fortinet closed their doors and went out of business, Fortinet would have zero risk from getting a cyber attack, obviously, but that's stupid, right?
You are so dumb.
Right, exactly.
You are really
so
dumb.
In a reality where we have a business that's practicing cybersecurity, you cannot eliminate all risks. There will always be residual risk. And in that residual risk window, compromises can happen. Attacks can happen. So this Fortinet thing, I don't like Fortinet, but I'm not going to dunk on them. I'm not going to say they messed up. Like this crap happens. There's nothing negligent, nothing egregious. Now, if it was access credentials that got compromised and then threat actor logged in, well, then we could be. I could throw a little bit of shade and say, like, dude, how about multi-factor authentication? It's this new control that just came on the scene in early 24. It's called multi-factor authentication. I'm being facetious. MFA has been around for years and years and years, and it would have stopped that. But if it was a misconfiguration, over-permissioned, insider threat, like there's a bunch of different attack angles that could have happened that would not have been through poor planning or poor execution of cybersecurity. So this sucks. Fortinet, I give you a little hat tip for not paying the threat actor. That's a bold move.
Ransom Hub threatens to leak stolen Kawasaki data. Kawasaki Motors Europe, or KME, has announced that it's working to recover from a cyber attack that targeted its EU headquarters. KME initially indicated the attack was unsuccessful and that servers had been isolated until a strategic recovery plan was initiated. However, the Ransom Hub gang subsequently added Kawasaki to its dark web extortion portal on September 5th, claiming that it stole 487 gigabytes of Kawasaki data from its networks. Ransom Hub gave KME a deadline of this past Saturday to pay a ransom, after which they plan to publish the stolen data. KME estimates that 90% of its server infrastructure will have been restored by the start of this week.
Nice flex, KME. All right, so check it out. A couple things here. One, if threat actors had an award show, like let's say Cyber Criminal Con was a real thing, like just borrowing from the Minions movie. Say there was like Cyber Criminal Con and like they have their award ceremony in like around the holidays, big banquet gala affair. People fly into Vegas. It's a whole thing, right? I'm making this up, but I'm just saying if that existed, Ransom Hub would be in the running for like the Heisman or the Rookie of the Year or whatever you want to say it. I believe they're a retread of an existing threat actor group, but as a new threat actor on the scene, they are just punching victims in the mouth and collecting, and they're taking out huge victims. Like, look at Ransom Hub's track record. They are got the pedal all the way down to the floor, and they're just like screaming out money ain't a thing. So taking down Kawasaki Motors, I'm sure Kawasaki had great information security practices, but they got malware on the organization somehow. People make mistakes all the time. What's important to note, and this is a good one, if you work in manufacturing, because this is a manufacturing company at the end of the day, you want to limit operational downtime, obviously. And it sounds like Kawasaki, their business continuity planning and their ability to recover is very high. Again, like experts in cyber resiliency here. I'm trying to find when they went down. Oh my God, this is great. So they did isolation once they discovered the compromise, which is totally normal. This looks like almost like a textbook example of like when you're studying the phases of incident response, like detection. What is it? You detect it, then you validate it's like a legit finding, then you isolate it, then you eradicate it, and then you recover. They're saying here. They found it, and then out of a precaution, they started isolating the servers, which obviously would have business impact, then started the cleansing process, which is basically just re-imaging the machines. Re-image and then restore backups. There we go. Off and running. I'm trying to see if there was anything else. Yeah. Again, this is standard practice, right? The company says its IT staff collaborate with external cyber experts. This is like what I'm talking about when I talk about Barricade Cyber. Yeah, here's the here's the deal. Kawasaki's back up. 90% of its server infrastructure has been restored. They recovered in a week, which is phenomenal. That's a very high number. Usually businesses are down longer and take much longer to fully recover. The TLDR here is I want you to realize that in our world, you can have in-house cybersecurity people, right? You can have in-house SecOps people, right? Like, oh, you're a large business and you have your own blue team, right? Wade Wells is a blue teamer for a company in-house. But when you get hit with a ransomware attack or you have a intrusion, right? It's very common to call in external third-party cybersecurity companies who specialize in that. And that's like where Barricade Cyber operates and others operate. So you can be this kind of like bespoke solution that does just dealing with bad. And I want to point out that a business like Barricade Cyber is viable because there's that much cyber attacks and cyber threat actor activity going on all the time. You know what I mean? It's not like Barricade has to have like, oh, we better make sure that we're tied to one in-house company. No, like there's just work all the time because threat actors are constantly doing this stuff. So if you ever see external cyber firms have been engaged, that's why. That's what's going on. They're specialized in dealing with this. They know the threat actors. Sometimes they're directly dealing with threat actors. I will tell you, as a deeper double click into this, threat actors do not really like it when you call in external cyber experts because threat actors begin to lose leverage. They get really pissy if they find out that you've brought in external cyber experts. Like typically, you if you bring in external, that you won't tell the threat actors that they're now dealing with somebody new who's specialized. You'll just continue to feign ignorance and stuff like that. You could see here, Ransom Hub stole 487 gigs of data. Seems this is very similar to 440 gigs that Fortinet got stolen, right? Does seem like a lot of data still. And here's Ransom Hub's clean looking website. All right. It looks like they have till, when do they have to? I don't know how to read this, right? Last view, September 13th. That was 3 days ago. So Friday. So this was already released, I guess, over the weekend. So I guess if you're a threat actor and you're here, the Kawasaki data is out.
Transport for London requires in-person password resets after a hack. Cybersecurity Headlines has been covering the incident that affected Transport for London 2 weeks ago. TfL initially indicated there was no evidence that customer data was affected by the incident before removing that statement from its website. TfL now says all staff, roughly 30,000 employees, must attend in-person appointments to verify their identities and reset their passwords. On Thursday, UK authorities arrested a 17-year-old male from Walsall in connection to the TfL incident, but later released him on bail. Back in July, a 17-year-old male from Walsall was also arrested for possible ties to the MGM Resorts ransomware attack. Authorities have not confirmed whether the same teenager was arrested in connection with both cases.
If it is the same teenager, not a good look. Not a good look. So Transport for London, this story's been in the news a couple times. Whoa, Trey Black taking the CISP in 2 hours. Let's go, Trey Black. You got this, dude. All right. Hey, Transport for London. This story's been in the news a couple times over the last week or two. Basically, London-based transit authority. Dude, 30,000 employees is not nothing to sniff at. Roswell UK is in chat right now. One of our local on-the-scene Simply Cyber community members. Roswell UK, if you got any insights or anything on how this is impacting the community there, do drop it in chat. Would love to get some thoughts there. Guys, here's the deal. I want to tell you about this. Resetting passwords, it sounds easy, right? Like, oh, right click, reset password. Right. Yeah. If you're resetting a password for one person in one environment, no big deal. But when you have a compromise in your environment and, either this can happen a couple different ways. Okay. There's a couple different ways that this can happen. Based on what I'm seeing, this might be an overreaction, honestly. But what they want you to do is you have to be in person because you have to show identification for yourself before they will allow you to reset your password, which, by the way, not to go too nerdy down the rabbit hole, but I'm going to, because it's a Simply Cyber production. I just want to show you this really quickly. NIST Cybersecurity Framework 2.0, GRC Mafia people, you know what we're up to. Oh my gosh, can we please get into the documentation, sir? Let's do this. Is this it? Yeah. I just want to show you this really quickly, okay? All right, so I'm in this CSF 2.0, and I'm trying to find the actual the governance. Like, basically, there's a governance one, and I want to point it out because the language of it is very, very janky, but when you actually see what's going on, here we go. Okay, look at this really quickly on stream, okay? This is the protect category of NIST Cybersecurity Framework. And really quick, if you don't know what NIST CSF is, it's a security framework to implement a comprehensive, holistic information security program for an organization of any size. There's 6 functions. Like 2 of them kind of reside left of bad happening, identify and protect. And then 3 of them take place right of boom, after bad, detect, respond, recover. And then there's a governance one that cuts through all of them, which is where the GRC people live. Now, I just want to point out, under the protect mechanism, under the identity management, authentication, and access control category, there is one PRAA02. Now, why am I telling you about this? Listen, it says that the objective is identities are proofed and bound to credentials based on the context of interactions. Identities are proofed and bound to credentials based on the context of interactions. Now, if you try to ask that question in an audit, you are going to be looked at like you have three heads, and they're going to say, what the hell do you mean by that? And if you don't understand, it's not good. But I want to point out that this control objective, this outcome, is literally what Transport for London is doing here. So this is essentially theory framework thing, and this is in practice real life. So the whole idea behind identities are proofed and bound to creds is that you are identifying the person you're giving the creds to is in fact the person who says they are. You're proving their identity, right? So when threat actor calls help desk and says, "Hi, this is, Eric Taylor. I'd like to reset my credentials." And they're like, "Sure, no problem, Eric Taylor." They are not doing proper identity verification. That's what they're doing here. And the reason they're doing this is because they believe that their entire, basically they've lost all confidence in their authentication current implementation for the entire business. They think that all employee passwords have been compromised. That's the only reason to do this. On top of that, in order to limit exposure from additional risk, they're making everyone come in person. This is not trivial. 30,000 people, dude, that's like that's a smaller, football stadium of fans, right? I mean, that's 30,000 is not nothing. So, and if it takes, let's say it takes, 10 minutes to reset someone's password, prove their identity, have them schluff up to the front and everything like that. Dude, that's 300,000 minutes. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but that maybe, what is that, like 500 hours or something? It's not trivial, right? You could throw more people at it, throw 10 people at it. So you got 10 lines queuing up. So now you got 50 hours. That's still over 2 straight days of work. On top of that, the back end, the Active Directory you're resetting in, that's getting load pushed on it. So you got to be mindful of that. This is not trivial. And this is like one of those big decisions. Like unplugging the internet from a business is a big decision. Resetting and rolling every user password is a big deal. And this doesn't even go, there's one step further than this. Sometimes when a threat actor gets into your Active Directory and they have domain admin, and again, this is where I'm starting to leer into a little bit of not my strength, but there's a thing where you have to reset your domain all domain credentials, right? So all AD creds, but you have to reset them twice because the first time that cred will be cached. And in order to basically purge the cached credential, not the first one won't be cached, your original one will be cached. When you reset the first time, the original one's still going to work because of caching. So when you reset a second time, the first one pushes into the cache and the new one sets there. So you have to do it twice. It is incredibly disruptive and challenging, and you really don't want to roll AD creds. But it happens, okay? So just know that. I'll tell you what, if Transport for London gets hacked shortly after this, it's going to be horrible for whoever is in charge of information security over there, because this decision right here is no joke. Although I will say, final thing about this, I will say that when you're in the news a ton and a threat actor's all up in your shorts, the response to do something massive like this is not met with a lot of friction. Transport for London, the business itself, is dealing with a massive compromise. And when the CISO or IT director or whatever comes in and says, we have to reset everybody's password, this is the way, this is the solution. No one's going to argue with that because right now it's very painful and they want the pain to stop. So this is painful in its own right, but it will be tolerated. If they do this and it does not resolve the issue or result in actually back to business, then basically high risk, high reward. This is a very expensive choice to make. And if it blows up in their face, someone's going to get fired.
Record settlement reached for hacked patient photos. A case involving hacked medical records affecting patients and employees at Lehigh Valley Health Network, an independent healthcare network based in Pennsylvania, has been settled for a record-breaking $65 million. The case was filed in March of 2023 and involved nearly 135,000 patients and employees. The exposed data includes home addresses, email addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, and passport info, and various medical data, including including nude photos of cancer patients. Victims named in the settlement will receive payments ranging from $50,000 to $70,000, with maximum amounts going to individuals who had their hacked photos published online.
All right. You know what? Not awful. So this was a story a couple years ago. So it says filed in March 2023, but the actual attack itself, I think, happened much more before that. Let's see if there's a number here. No, it doesn't say. Anyways, 600 people impacted, $65 million fine. Victims are going to get $35,000 to $70,000. I mean, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but I mean, you can try to, I guess, I don't know if reparations is the right word to use. It seems right, but like there's some type of trying to make it up using money as the tool to make it up. Basically, they got sued. Now, I just want to do some quick math here, right? They said 600 people were impacted, right? So basically, some threat actor went in, stole medical data, and then released it. And unfortunately, some women who had breast cancer, they say nudes. I guess it was nude, but like upper body, exposed chest, obviously, to take pictures throughout the treatment process to see if like the cancer's going away, if there's additional lumps, like whatever. It wasn't about like, hey, check out this nudes, like free on OnlyFans. It wasn't porn. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was medical imaging. But it's still, vulnerable population, and they were impacted, right? Because this threat actor released the pictures publicly, which is gross. Now, I just want to do some quick math here, okay? They said it ranges from $35,000 to $70,000. Let's just assume every patient or victim got $70,000, which is not the case. But for upper bound, let's see. 600 times 70,000 is, let's see, $42 million. $42 million. Okay. And it was a $65 million thing. So $23 million. Okay. Again, I chose the upper bound, not all 600 and 70 grand. So it's less than that. But 1/3 or $23 million is going somewhere else, probably to lawyers.
Straight cash, homie.
So, I mean, I'm glad that they got their restitution, but I don't know, man. These lawsuits, it's like $23 million goes to like a law firm somewhere, class action lawsuit. Anyways, it's a refreshing good end to a victim story.
And now I'd like to thank today's episode sponsor, Conveyor. Ever feel like completing security questionnaires has become your full-time side hustle you're not even getting paid extra for? If so, you should check out Conveyor. Conveyor is the market leader in instant generative AI answers to entire security questionnaires, no matter what format they're in. Yes, that's right. Upload any file like Excels, Word docs, even PDFs for instant processing, and tackle any portal-based questionnaire with a browser extension that auto-scrolls and fills in answers for you. Try a free proof of concept today at www.conveyor.com. That's CONVEYOR.com.
All righty, guys, it's the mid-roll. Hey, for you first-timers in chat, we do this every single day, and it's great to have you here to experience it. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right, y'all. Holla at ya. Good morning. I hope you're having a great stream. I want to say thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you, 453 of you amazing people. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Threat Locker, and Antisyphon Training. Guys, if you didn't know, Antisyphon Training is disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing cutting-edge, high-end cyber training to everyone, regardless of financial position. They offer their students the ability to practice real-life skills so you get hands-on keyboard skilling learn from industry experts. Okay, so this isn't just like, chat GPT, write me a course. These are people who are in the trenches and have real practical experience to share with you. I always say it. It's like, I feel like it's like how I teach. Like, there's tons of stuff that you will only learn by going through it. You can't read it in a textbook. And these practitioners will educate you that way. On top of it, the actual learning is very much like the Simply Cyber community, where there's a lot of engagement, a lot of student engagement, great networking. Go to antisyphontraining.com and check out their upcoming courses. Obviously, they're going to be doing a ton at Wild West Hack and Fest, both remote and on-prem. If you're getting value from the stream, whether it's educational value, entertainment value, inspirational value, whatever value you're getting, if you are, hit the like button on YouTube. It goes a long way to help other cyber pros, aspiring cyber pros, community members, help find us and make it useful for everybody. All right. Love it, love it, love it. Guys, the Simply Cyber Community Challenge, Branded Maverick, who I believe is David Brand, has the baton. Doesn't have a lot of connections from this. Let's take a look here. First of all, let me tell you what's up. The Simply Cyber Community Challenge is an opportunity to grow your own network and learn more about other Simply Cyber community members. It's very lightweight. Basically, one person a day shares their story, like David Brand did on Friday, and we learn about them, and then we connect with them. Now, David, I'm going to drop this link in chat right now, if I can. Connect with David from operations to cyber, a passionate transition. He's done a whole story here. I'm just going to go ahead and repost this with my thoughts. All right, check this out. Meet David Brand. Arrow, boink, 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 and then hashtag Team SC. Okay, it's as easy as that, right? So join. Now we need a new person to carry the baton. So if you can share, just raise your hand or say, I'll take it in chat right now. It goes a long way to helping build your own network and basically supercharge your LinkedIn feed. Thank you, Jenny Housley, for helping us. Now, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays, I'm very proud to say, is Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, where I take a moment and just pause and recognize one person in our community. There are many, many wonderful people in the Simply Cyber community, but I want to take a moment and recognize one for their contributions in helping others. Simply Cyber is about support, inclusion, empowering others to achieve their goals. And we got a great one for you today. I do want to point out really quickly that there is an award that goes with being recognized as the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Some of you have already been recognized, know about it. It's a $100 Amazon gift card. The Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week is presented by ThreatLocker. It takes a deny by default approach to cybersecurity with their application blocking, and it takes a village to secure your business. It takes a village to build the Simply Cyber community, and for that, I am so grateful. Daniel Picnic going to take the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Guys, I want to recognize our friend Josh Mason. Josh Mason's in chat. He is a mod, but the reason I want to recognize him for the Simply Cyber Member of the Week is because he has been spearheading a lot of work around the Simply CyberCon 2024. If you've been involved at all, you know that Josh is right there. He's been coordinating. He's been working. He's been doing the speakers. He's been doing the registration. He's been doing everything around Simply CyberCon. And if you think it's going to be a great success this year, it's because of Josh and what Josh is doing, among others. There are many people behind the scenes making this a great event, but I'm recognizing Josh today. So congratulations, Josh. Thank you for your selfless contributions. It's a completely volunteer thing, by the way. It's not like he's getting paid to do this. He's taken it on to make sure that the Simply Cyber community has a wonderful experience this November 1st. Now, let's get our la-la-la-las on and slide back into the stories. I'm going to refill my coffee during this la-la-la-la. so good. All right, guys, let's finish strong, shall we? Let's go.
23andMe reaches 30.
By the way, quick shout out, real quick. I know it's very abrupt and jarring when I switch from Simple Minds and I don't let the song end and I go right back into the news story. I just want to say really quick shout out, Kathy Chambers. I know that it drives you nuts every time I do that. And just, I love you, Kathy, but I got, we got to do it that way.
$1 million breach settlement. And in other data breach settlement news, on Thursday, the DNA testing giant agreed to pay $30 million settlement for the 2023 breach that exposed the genetics data of 6.4 million customers. Though the company denies it failed to properly protect its consumers, 23andMe has agreed to strengthen its security protections against credential stuffing attacks by implementing
MFA.
mandatory two-factor authentication for all users,
Clowns.
bolstering end-user security awareness training, and conducting annual cybersecurity audits. The company is also required to maintain a security incident response plan and stop retaining personal data for inactive or deactivated accounts.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh my gosh. I feel like I forgot about this story a little bit, but I feel like I just was going through the kitchen junk drawer looking for a pair of scissors, and the 23andMe story was there, and I pulled it out and I was like, blow the dust off it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this dumpster fire. Okay. Really quick in the Wayback Machine. Let me just remind everybody. So I think it was last year, 23andMe, which is like the DNA company, had a massive compromise, over 1 million records compromised. They actually said 6.5 million people. I didn't think it was that high, but whatever. They had their accounts accessed through a credential stuffing attack. 23andMe, the business, was not compromised. I actually do side with 23andMe on this one. They did nothing wrong, okay? They really didn't. Users of 23andMe reused their passwords. Users of 23andMe had crap passwords, and a data breach happened, and threat actors turned around and attempted to log in with the username and password from the data breach into 23andMe. And lo and behold, at least 1 million of those username passwords worked. This is called the credential stuffing attack, where you take creds you find somewhere else and you try to log in, and if it works, you win, right? So that's the deal. So 23andMe has to pay a $30 million fine for really something that they didn't do. Now, two things. One, they're going to require multi-factor authentication. I hate to do this, but they just built a gorgeous barn door, but the horses are all running around out in the field. Nice job. I guess lessons learned, improved. You got a beautiful barn door there, 23andMe. But your fillies and Mustangs are still running around outside. Basically, you know what I mean? I'm trying to use a metaphor here, retroactively, whatever. Secondly, dude, the $30 million fine, 6 million impacted people. So everybody, if they got all the money, is going to get $5 each. As we just saw in the last story, lawyers take at least a third, at least. So a third of that would be 10 million. So then it's 6.5 million people for $20 million, which means everybody's getting $3.
Straight cash, homie.
Enjoy. Yeah, $3 is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right
What are you
now.
gonna do with that? I mean, whatever. To me, this is, I don't know. Normally I would say this isn't fair to 23andMe, but I want to tell you all one absolute gem of a lesson. This is a gem of a lesson that you don't normally see, and you could bust this out in a job interview potentially. 23andMe made one of the biggest bonehead mistakes I've ever seen.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Okay. They came out, some genius in PR there, they came out after the breach and publicly blamed their end users for having crappy cybersecurity hygiene. They came out and said, it's your fault, and pointed the finger. While that is actually true, it is a horrible look for a business to puff up its chest after a compromise and be like, wasn't me. If you weren't such an idiot, wouldn't have been a problem. From a business perspective, I definitely don't encourage you call your customers, the people who give you money, idiots. That's just not a good look. Right? I mean, imagine having like an all hands meeting and like calling out like people by like, hey, Carl, come up here. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl's been here for about 4 years. Horrible password, this guy. Go on, Carl, get on out of here. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. It's stupid. And what benefit does it get? Are people like signing up for 23andMe based on that? They're like, oh yeah, you know what? 23andMe actually has pretty good cyber. It was the customers who were the idiots. I'm an idiot. I'll sign up too. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Anyways, MFA for everybody and annual cybersecurity audits. Why weren't they doing annual cyber audits in the first place? That's a question. Final thing on this. It doesn't say annual cyber external audits. So if it's internal audits, those things can be manipulated in a number of ways.
Port of Seattle refuses to pay ransom. In an update to a story we brought to you earlier this month on Cybersecurity Headlines, on Friday, officials confirmed that the Port of Seattle refused to pay a ransom to cybercriminals after a cyber attack caused issues at the city's airport and seaport ahead of Labor Day holiday. Steve Metrick, executive director of the Port of Seattle, said they are making progress in restoring affected systems, but, quote, paying the criminal organization would not reflect port values or our pledge to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars, end quote. The attack has been attributed to the Riceta ransomware group, the same group that is responsible for recent attacks on the city of Columbus, Ohio, and several leading hospitals.
All right. Dude, Seattle. I know that SeaTac, the airport up there, and the Port of Seattle are, I would assume, are not related from a business perspective, but Seattle's been getting ramrodded, right? Like Seattle's getting a colonoscopy, no anesthetic. Oh, man. So the port's refusing to pay a ransom. Hey, if Mark Lester's in chat, I know him and his crew jump on the stream. Would love some insights into a port being taken down and what the impact would be. You can see here the city's airport and seaport ahead of Labor Day holiday. Oh, so this is like an old story? Huh. Let's see. They said paying the threat actors wouldn't align with port values, whatever. This is a fine way to spin it, but at the end of the day, you either have a position that you're going to pay or not going to pay. And hopefully, really, guys, you've made this decision in advance. You're hopefully not deciding at the moment whether or not to pay a ransom or not. This should definitely be in your tabletop exercises. Also, when you do a tabletop exercise, you should try to make it as real as possible. Like by saying like, listen, like we're down, we're not making money, or we're not producing product, or customers can't use the port, or like a shipping container or transport cargo ships are having to be rerouted to San Francisco, in this case from Seattle. Like whatever it is, like you need to communicate to the business that there is money impacts.
Straight cash, homie.
Because in reality, y'all, it's fine to say, like have like altruistic ideals and be like, we will never pay a ransom. But then if the ransom's $500,000 and you're losing $1 million a day, and your IT team comes in and says it's going to take us 7 days to recover, and you're like, all right, so that's $7 million, or I could pay $500,000 to get it back today. Well, now, even though I was righteous and puffed my chest out, I want to make the hurt stop. So here's 500 grand, right? You got to have those really tough conversations and really be honest with yourself. Let's see. Whatever. I will give it a shout out to the threat actors around choosing a holiday weekend to screw people over. Definitely a higher likelihood of success of getting things paid. DJ Bisek, who does know a thing or two about transportation and port Logistics says a port being taken down is catastrophic, which, by the way, using the word catastrophic is not accidental or hyperbolic for DJ Bsec to say that. He's definitely using it correctly. Catastrophic is the top right quadrant of impact. It's the worst. Catastrophic is the absolute worst. You want to mitigate down from catastrophic as best as you can. Nothing gets moved. He says a couple of years ago, the Port of Houston had an outage. Wasn't security related, but it took the port down for a full day, set everything back. We actually saw not Petya screw up Maersk several years ago. And Maersk ended up having I think it was something like $4.7 billion of damage from that ports being taken down. Because you got to remember, guys, when a port gets taken down, there's cargo ships with product on it. They have to come in. The cargo needs to be taken off and put on trucks. What is on the ship? Where do the cargo containers go? Which truck gets in line next? What goes on the truck? What is a perishable? What has medicine in it? What are you doing for investigating whether or not there's like human trafficking going on in any of those containers? Like all of the logistics is the part that you lose access to when the IT systems go down. And that's why it's so catastrophic. It's basically Keystone cops bumping into each other.
Over 1 million Android-based TV boxes backdoored. On Thursday, security firm Dr. Web reported that a malware named Android.Void, void spelled VO1D, has backdoored nearly 1.3 million Android-based streaming boxes across nearly 200 countries. The malware resides in a system storage area of infected devices where it can be updated at any time by command and control servers. Google said the infected devices are running operating systems based on the Android open source project, a version overseen by Google but distinct from Android TV, a proprietary version that is restricted to licensed device makers. The researchers now have a thorough understanding of how the malware operates, but are still not clear as to the attack vector that led to the infections.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not great that there's like, let me rephrase that. 1 million backdoored Android devices is not great. Having said that, as an academic and someone who loves cybersecurity, this is kind of cool. They don't know how the infection worked. Okay, if I had to guess, and drop your own guesses in chat. If I had to guess, it is either like a malicious library that the Android OS is pulling down for those particular devices, like some third party that those devices depend on has been compromised. That if I had to guess, the fact that it can still, it's a full botnet basically, right? It's reaching out on C2. I got to tell you guys, little Android based TV boxes. This is I guess part of the reason why I think this is so great as a exercise is that you're not going to stick EDR on an Android based TV box. You're not like CrowdStrike isn't going on a freaking Roku device. Now this isn't Roku. This is like, you can see here, R4 TV box, KJ Smart 4 VIP. Like, I don't know what these things are, but it's not really all those things. It would be an interesting exercise to get one of these devices and then try to get it infected so you could study it and look at it. And you can see here, they actually have a screenshot, low key. It's not quite an infographic, but I'll allow it. I do like the context highlighting. This is a modified install recovery.sh file or a Linux shell script, basically. And you could see here, let me see, box daemon 2. I'm just reading the source code for a second here. It deletes the log files, and then it changes the permissions to the log files. It writes an ID to the log files. And then what else is it doing here? Okay, it looks like it puts some type of shell data into a temporary log file. I don't really see, there's no like, to me, it's just overwriting a log file, basically. I don't really see anything interesting. The ID, I guess, is interesting. It's like unique to the system. But Yeah, I guess the actual interesting thing here is this top line. You see where it says system xbin WD, like whatever that WD is, that's a persistence mechanism if it's running every time it runs. I don't know what this WD is, but that would be interesting to know. Fun little story, a little bit of a technical one. You could see here, world map listing the number of infections. Mostly looks like Brazil, Ecuador kind of represent 30% of all infections. So United States people, not a big deal. Looks like Europe is not really impacted. So South America, Middle East is really your key demographic. If you're working in businesses or, you're helping people in those areas, you may have an issue here. Again, if I had to guess, this is more of like a botnet to be weaponized later. You could technically move laterally through this box into the network, but final thing I'll say on this does introduce an opportunity for you to segment your home network or your business's network and have like an IoT network LAN or network segment, excuse me. So like when crap like this happens, you don't want a Roku device on the same network segment as like your file server. If you are, especially if you're a small business, like I could totally see one of these things being thrown into the waiting room for guests. Like, let's say that you're, I don't know, a medical practice or something like that. And you're running like, let's say you're a pediatrician and you're running like Disney Plus in the waiting room. So kids have like, they can watch Shrek 2 or whatever. That should not be on the same network as like your medical devices and your file server and your billing system, right? Like your little server closet. Do network segmentation. There's some great value there. Thanks, Mando Avelia, for the squad membership.
Cybersecurity documentary premieres as study shows why people should watch it. Cyber Florida at USF, in partnership with Cisco and Women in Security, or WISIS, hosted the premiere of the cybersecurity documentary entitled Do We Belong Here? The documentary highlights inspirational stories of perseverance and success shared by women and other underrepresented groups in the cybersecurity industry. The documentary is available on the Cyber Florida at USF YouTube channel. This comes just as the Washington Post reported on new analysis showing that the share of women in high-tech industry has barely budged over the past 2 decades, even as the number of lucrative jobs in the field has soared over that same period. 22.6% of workers in high-tech roles, just over 0.5% rise versus 2005, when women filled 22% of tech roles.
All right. Really quickly, I'm getting this link here. This is kind of cool. University of, what is it? Central Florida? I'll drop a link after during jaw jacking because I can't get in here. Cyber Florida at USF, so University of, I guess, South Florida, Southern Florida. Shout out to all you Tampa and Florida people. I know Kimberly can fix it. Kathy, Daniel Lowry, Chuck Sapp, like the whole. There's like a whole Florida sub crew wrapping around in here. In relation with Wixis, Rex with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. Let's face it, the more smart devices you have, the more vulnerable you are. IoT is one of our biggest, mostly ignored vulnerabilities. It certainly does introduce a vulnerable attack surface, no doubt. Plus, like, you let anyone use it, right? Hey, here's the controller, kid. Like, go for it. Women in cybersecurity and underrepresented demographics in cyber, they have a documentary called Do We Belong Here? It's free to watch. Very cool. Definitely going to check this out myself. I'm trying to share this link with you. And I can't, which is like infuriating me. Oh my God, what is going on? Why can't I click in here? Dude, what is going on here? I'm going to just drop a link here. Thank you, Sean Kelly, University of South Florida. Gonna check it out. I'm glad they're doing stuff like this. Showing what's going on and giving a voice to these populations to see what's going on. Now, they said that despite the need and the demand of cyber jobs increasing year over year, women's engagement hasn't increased too much. So, tech has been predominantly male. It's definitely getting more diverse for sure. year over year, in my opinion. It seems like it. And not that this is a flex, but I am really proud of this. And many of you know this. I was literally looking in YouTube yesterday at the analytics, and on average for the last 365 days, on average, the Simply Cyber community is of people consuming Simply Cyber content is 19.2% female. So it's still 80% male, but I've got to tell you, for those who have been with me a long time, you know that it used to be like 10%, and I've made a concerted effort to be more inclusive. Guys, I don't just say brand values to like sound like a stiff or to like print it out and stick it on the wall and use it as like a marketing technique. I truly believe in the values of Simply Cyber, and that's why I share them every quarter with you guys. Support, inclusion, empowerment. There's 6 in all, but those 3 I want to highlight right now. Support and inclusion. Inclusion means anyone can be here. Anyone who wants to take the initiative. I don't care if you male, female, non-binary, like whatever you want. Like your gender or your orientation has nothing to do with your ability to do cybersecurity. Okay? I've never once been like, like, should we go with CrowdStrike or should we go with SentinelOne? It's like, well, hold on. Are you male or female? Like, that does not matter. Okay? So being more inclusive, I love it. And I'm super pumped. When I saw 19.2%, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. All right. So anyways, go check out this documentary. I'm going to check it out myself just to see what's going on. But nice job, Cyber Florida. Maybe we can get someone from there. If someone in the Simply Cyber community is watching this right now and is involved with this project or Cybersecurity Florida, give me a shout. Maybe we can have you on and talk about this initiative, this documentary, and bring more light to it. I'll probably make a social media post on it as well. All right, guys, check it out now. Wow, what a ride. All right, hey, real quick, if you got value from the stream, thank you so much for being here. 412 of you. I see a couple people had to drop. Totally understand. Guys, this has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast, September 16th. It's a Monday. Stay with us, though. Don't go anywhere. In just a moment, the show is going to flip, and it'll turn into jaw-jacking, a 30-minute AMA with a different host, answering all your questions. If you have any questions, certifications, resources, labs, interview questions, whatever, skills, conferences, whatever it is, bring your questions. The Simply Cyber community is always hanging out, answering as many as we can to promote that empowerment. Have a great day, Jenny Housley. We'll see you later. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thanks so much, and until next time, stay secure. Hey. Whoa. How you doing? It's good to see you here. Hi, chat. Hey, Jeff S. Hey, Indahlim, Marlon Johnson. Guys, I want to say welcome to Jaw Jacking. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, coming hot off the heels of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief with that nerd. What a zero! Dr. Gerald Auger. Are you kidding me with that guy? Heaping on praises for an Android-rooted 1.3 million compromised asset botnet. You academic. How dare you? Nerd. Well, guess what? We're chill. We're kicking it. We're having a good time. That's what jaw-jacking is, not any of that academic rigor. So you drop questions, we give answers. Nelson making it to the live chat. Hey, Nelson.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. Good to see you, Valentino. Nerman, as always. Let's go. So what do we got? Hey, I can give you some updates on Simply CyberCon if you're interested in that. We met with the volunteers on Friday, which was phenomenal. If you're interested in volunteering. There's still some opportunities. Simply CyberCon will be on November 1st. I have a couple big updates. One, there will be a workshop that is open to everybody for $0 the day before on October 31st, so Halloween. It'll be a virtual attended workshop. We'll stream it. We're either going to stream it or do it on Discord. I haven't confirmed that yet. But at the end of the day, our conference is continuing to kick major butt. We're going to have a CTF. We're going to have a lockpick village. We're going to have workshops now. Go to simplycybercon.org and get all the information. You can see here is the list of speakers and the talks they're going to be given. We got volunteers for days. I ordered just yesterday, I ordered some of the, I guess the marketing stuff, the signage, so people can find us. People know what's going on. So yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely coming together. And again, shout out to all the organizers and volunteers making this such a cool experience. So what's up, guys? Oh yeah, you guys noticed I shaved? I don't want to say I'm lazy. I just feel like I'm classic IT. Like basically I just let my beard grow until it's too long and then I shave it all the way down and rinse and repeat. It's like harvesting, although like my face hair isn't useful for anything, but it's like harvesting. Whoa, Angular found a wedding venue with the future wife. Cool. Nice job, Angular. Oh my gosh, let's go. Yeah, guys, you may not know, I'm in my mid-40s, been working in the industry for a long time, and when I shave, I kind of look like baby DJ Bisek, who also looks like a young. I look like I don't, because I still have beard, but like borderline Gen Z. Good to see you, FedEx, in the house. All right, don't like Casually Joseph losing his mind about harvesting. It's a term that like makes sense, right? I let it grow all the way and then I bring it down. I know it's gross. I'm not eating it. Come on, ask questions, guys. I feel Secure Nation talking about GurCon. Where's GurCon? Let's talk about that. I'm not familiar with the GurCon. Let's check out GurCon. I don't know if anybody else has been having this issue, but like I Google and then like the friggin' screen turns black. Then it comes back up. I'm compromised. GurCon, September 26th, Grand Rapids, Michigan. So is Grand Rapids in the UP? No egos, no divas, just good time, good content. This looks great. Holy crap, look at all the sponsors too. Simply CyberCon could learn a thing or two about this. We only have 2 sponsors, and only one of them's confirmed. Damn, GurCon, you guys got it figured out. If you are in the UP, Detroit area, Grand Rapids, go check it out. This looks cool. Here, I'm going to give GurCon a little love. All right. FedEx saying I look like Justin Gold. Nice. J-Mod. I'm J-Mod's brother. S. Cole 7 says, can you explain the difference between a risk analyst and a security analyst? Sure. Let me do this. I'm going to try to bring this up on stage. All right, so, hey, the question is, can you explain the difference between a risk analyst and a security analyst? Yeah, so really quickly, a security analyst is kind of a generic term. So you may hear the term security analyst applied in the SOC. As a SOC analyst, you could hear it used in many different ways. A risk analyst is very specific. What you're supposed to be doing as a risk analyst is looking at the threats to an organization, looking at the controls that are in place to mitigate the risk of those threats, actively and successfully compromising the weaknesses in order to achieve, a compromise, right? So basically, a risk analyst says, "Hey, listen, what would be a good example, I guess? Like a risk analyst says, hey, listen, we've got really sensitive data here, like wherever. And right now there's like anonymous or not anonymous, like generic accounts can log in, no multi-factor. That is too risky. So we need to introduce controls like MFA and individual accounts and doing account reviews to make sure deprecated old end of life accounts or people who no longer are here, those accounts are no longer able to access this data set. I've reduced the risk, which is basically likelihood of an attack happening and the impact of that attack happening. I've reduced the risk to a lower acceptable level. Yes, the data could still get compromised if someone gives up their creds and somehow falls for MFA hack, but we've reduced our likelihood of it happening. So that's what it is. Whereas a security analyst, that's super vague, super generic. A security analyst could be someone that goes and does information security awareness training. It could be someone who looks at threat intelligence and makes determinations to explain to maybe a business on maybe what kind of detections they might need to be looking for, or might run a tabletop exercise or something like that. So hopefully that answers your question. Those are the things. One's generic. Roswell UK says, call for opinions. How can we get organizations and governments to make stolen PII data too hot to handle? How can we get organizations and governments to make stolen So I guess to Roswell UK's question, right? Like right now, if you were to clop ransomware, this happened with them in the Move It breach. If you were to get Department of Energy, United States Department of nuclear energy data, this is actually kind of a funny play on words, but it would be radioactive. Oh my gosh. I didn't even mean to do that joke, but it would be radioactive. So a lot of times when threat actors get national security data like that, or Department of Energy data, they get rid of it immediately because they don't want it. It's too hot to handle. So I think what Roswell's UK is saying, how can we make regular PII so all these data breaches are too radioactive? Honestly, in my opinion, I don't know if other people have chimed in data yet, in chat yet, but in my opinion, you need to have the punishment extensive and you need to increase the law enforcement focus. Right now, law enforcement only goes after the big dogs, right? Your Lockbits, your Black Cat Alphys, your Dark Matter when they attack, not Dark Matter, Dark Side when they attack the Colonial Pipeline. Dude, a publishing company in Mount Pleasant that gets hit with a ransomware attack by, Black Basta, law enforcement is just saying, shrugging their shoulders and saying, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So if we had a dedicated police force that was just upending and making the life living hell for these threat actors, that's the only way. It's not about, in my opinion, it's not about making PII too hot to handle. It's about making threat actors' business too hot to be in. To me, it's going up the stack a little bit further. Good question, though. Thank you. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Roswell, UK. Due diligence and due care. Yeah, so it's been a minute. Due diligence is like reassuring and going back afterwards, making sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's, even though it's probably fine. Hey, we're going to do business, me and Roswell, UK, right? Well, it's probably fine to do business with you, Roswell, UK, but to do my due diligence, I'm going to ensure that there isn't a better option in the market. I'm going to get a couple quotes. I'm going to call your references and make sure that you're still legit. That is due diligence. It's due diligence is basically if you like doing due diligence, you're perfect for GRC. It's basically not moving fast and taking chances. It's being deliberate and taking action after you're very confident that the action's a good move. That's due diligence. Due care is the trickier one. Due care to me is more about due care is almost doing the right things without being told to do the right things. So like putting multi-factor authentication on your customer accounts and requiring it is due care. Getting cyber insurance is, and like, you know, being thorough, doing regular account reviews. You're taking due care to make sure that the health of your program is right. Like a good example of due care, like not cyber related, but personally, is like making sure that you rotate your tires every 10,000 miles or 20,000 miles. Yes, you don't have to. The car will still drive, you know, but if you do it, it's due care. It's like maintenance, basically, like regular nurturing and feeding. Hopefully that answers that question. Okay. Hey, really quickly, there will be no jaw jacking on Thursday. DJ BSEC will be out and I will be teaching, so no jaw jacking this Thursday. DJ BSEC, why do we not see private companies or government agencies run trends on ransom actors to try and decipher where they may be hitting next? Okay, so that's a good question. Why can't we get some intel on predicting where a next threat actor would hit? Unfortunately, I believe because of ransomware as a service models, the affiliates could be all over the place. There's so many municipalities, there's so many education businesses. It's really more of a crime of opportunity than it is a deliberate, focused opportunity. Some threat actors, yeah, they will like go big game hunting, like Ransom Hub and stuff like that. But for the most part, as affiliates go, it's really just like, can I get in? Yes. Do you have money? Yes, let's go. So I don't really know if there's enough data to be able to do trend analysis. Dominic LaPlante says, what are your best metrics to track a detection program? Mean time to detect, mean time to respond, MITRE attack. I'll do this. Number of alerts, false positives, true positives. That's a good question. Wading through logs, if you're in here, it might be interesting. As far as, for me, from a detection program, mean time to detect is kind of hard, simply because, like, once you detect them, you'd have to go back and figure out, you'd have to go, not threat hunting, but you'd have to go back in the logs to see if you can determine how long they've been there. Not always accurate. Mean time to respond, to me, when you say track a detection program, mean time to respond is past detection. You've already detected them. Now we're talking about response time. So, you know, I think mean time to detect might be the best detection program. Maybe you could even do threat hunting. See, the thing is, it's tough with metrics because let's say you're measuring how often threat hunting results in discovering bad in your network. Well, if you're doing such a good job protecting your network and you never discover bad, does that mean your threat hunting program sucks? No. It's sometimes it's hard to prove a negative. I do like the idea of number of false positives versus true positives. To me, that would be like, actually, I think that's a very good one, Dominic, because that would be an indication to me of how healthy your detection engineering is by tuning out false positives. In fact, you could even, I almost think trend data of false positives would be really good to track, because you'd obviously want false positives to go down, because false positives basically is not wasting time, but SOC analysts are spending time looking at things that are not bad and making that decision. So those are a couple of my thoughts on metrics around that. Very nice question. Have you seen threat modeling used for system software acquisition opposed to solutions that are in-house developed? Have you seen threat modeling used for... Agent Coulson, I have not seen system software acquisition threat modeling. I will tell you, just to offer you something, Agent Coulson, there is a solution called Scorecard, or Cyber. Is it Scorecard? Yeah, Security Scorecard. I know this company, you can kind of use this to help analyze and look at your partners, right? Like you can see here, like this is Intel for Threat Landscape. This is a pretty reputable solution. If you want to check this one out. Sorry, I don't have a better answer. Who asked that? Agent Colson? Let me tag Agent Colson. Go check that out. All right. Next question. Do you think that the GOST model instead of a diamond model when reporting to the C-suite is better, specifically in cyber threat intel? Honestly, I'm not familiar with the GOST model. Is waiting through logs here. He's like our resident CTI person. I don't see him in chat. Maybe if he watches on replay, he can weigh in on that. Let's look at this model really quickly. GOST model. All right, we're going to learn together here. The GOST model is a framework for goal setting to support strategy, whatever. Goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. Okay, so it's an acronym. All right, so really quick, we're going to do this together. The diamond model is used for threat intel, like on the regular. So I know that Wade Wells teaches about it in a Cyber 101 class that I took. All right, so here are my thoughts on this one. And by the way, thank you, Societal, for this question. I know Societal is a seasoned practitioner, is actually going to probably join us on a jaw jacking at some point. The question was, is Diamond model better for briefing the C-suite or this GOST model, which I hadn't known? Honestly, on the surface, I would use this GOST model, which might sound counterintuitive since the Diamond model is so popular. But you got to remember your audience, guys. Like a C-suite, they don't care about elite 0 days. A C-suite doesn't care what your Baldur's Gate 3, barbarian class role looks like, or you know what I mean? Like they care about money and they care about strategy. So I think using this as a way to like basically brief them is pretty dope. In fact, I might even go one step further and have like one statement for each of these things, right? Around, well, for the threat actor, like what do you need to know? Their goal was this, right? Their goal was this, and I guess objective and goal are kind of the same thing. Like this is just like a little bit deeper dive on it. Their approach and how we're responding to it is good. It depends what you're briefing the C-suite on. If you're briefing them on needing money to increase your cyber spend for protecting from a specific threat actor, this is a good technique. If you got compromised and you wanted to like brief them on what the current status is, this does look like a good one. Honestly, the Diamond model almost seems more useful for like briefing. See, here's my thing. Capabilities and infrastructure, the C-suite doesn't care about that, really. They are the victim. So to me, this is more valuable for the information security office and like the engineers and stuff like that to be mindful of what's going on and how to handle it. So that's my thoughts on this one. Like you could use the Diamond model also for communicating with partners around, if you're doing intelligence sharing type stuff, that's pretty good. Thanks for the question, Societal. Fun framework to learn about the GOST one. Mario says, any ideas on how someone could use AI to assist in protecting their investment company's data network assets? Really, any suggestions to implement AI in security? Yeah, well, I mean, okay, so there's a couple ways to do it, Mario. You can use AI to help inform your cybersecurity program. So, I would definitely not put sensitive information into AI, but I'm going to give you kind of 3 examples. Ready? One, for your GRC people, you can kind of describe in AI what your current security posture is, what your company size is, what your company's industry is, and then ask it to give you some basically high value risk reducing suggestions that could be implemented for low money or quickly. That's one to help inform, if you don't have the knowledge already, to help inform kind of your short-term goals of reducing cyber risk. And then ultimately you could have it give you like a 3-year roadmap, right? From a SecOps perspective, a lot of these tools are beginning to introduce AI integrations. So you could use AI as, a tier zero SecOps SOC analyst. What does that mean? That means when alert gets fired off or whatever, AI grabs it, runs it against, whatever, virus total, MITRE attack type stuff, and comes back, maybe Flare, comes back and says, hey, like this, there's a high confidence this is a false positive for these reasons. Basically the grunt work that a SOC analyst would do initially to make a decision on whether or not this needs further investigation, escalation, or to be closed out. So AI can really increase your SOC analyst's throughput. A third option, you can use AI to help write detection rules, right? So let's say there's some intel comes out saying, hey, there's an uptick in activity of these threat actors attacking whatever, Move It, right? Or whatever, or that Android one, right? They write these scripts and they overwrite the install script, and they're putting these files in these particular directories. You could literally highlight that, drop it in a chat GPT or something and say, write me a Yara rule that works for this, or write me a Sigma that works for this. And then the AI will generate one. Now, I wouldn't take it verbatim, copy and paste it in, but as a first draft, you're like 80% of the way, and then you can tweak and tune. So there's 3 different examples of how to use AI in security. Mike Fields, wondering if I'm taking the right path. I'm currently a retail, first time speaking, guys. Currently a retail manager looking to get into the SOC. Right now I'm doing the Google cert, then I'll do Sec Plus, and then try Hack Me, SOC Path 1 and 2. Good path. Yeah, that sounds excellent. The Sec Plus is a solid. The SOC is a great place to enter, Mike Fields, honestly. So I think GRC and SOC are the 2 areas that have the most opportunity for entry-level breaking in. The Google cert's going to give you some understanding and foundation. The Security Plus is also, but you're going to want to definitely get that cert because that's a big one. You may want to consider CYSA Plus or Blue Team, Security Blue Team Level 1 SOC certs as well. I don't put a ton of value in certs, but those 2 are aligned with SOC. The Try Hack Me SOC 1 and 2 I've heard good things about, so definitely worth checking out. Mike Fields, the final things I would tell you is, 1, you're here right now and you're asking questions, so you're doing the right things. Make sure you're networking with people in the blue side of things, right? So, you want to make sure you're engaging with blue teamers and networking, right? Finding out about opportunities. The second thing, you need to get practical hands-on skills. I have a playlist on the channel that is a great start, Mike, called so you want to be a SOC analyst. Let me just get that link for you really quickly. Right here. This helps you build it for free, like a whole lab. And you do like post-exploitation frameworks, you compromise boxes, you write detection rules. Like you do like advanced SOC stuff that will have massive value in you like learning and getting knowledge about what a SOC analyst is doing and detection. And you'll be able to explain that in job interviews. Yes, do the things that you laid out, but I'm telling you, get that practical hands-on skills. You'll love it. Societal says, I find it harder and harder these days to keep the attention of C-suites. Yes, 100%. C-suites, they're in their phone. short attention spans. Realistically, I would argue you almost have to use the same techniques that content creators use for shorts and for videos and stuff. And as a content creator, right? Like I'm like intimately aware of this, but like you need to start with the C-suite with a hook, right? There's different ways that hooks can happen. I'll just give you like a quick example. Oh my gosh. I took notes the other day. Apparently my phone is only biometrically allowing Dr. Gerald Auger to open the phone, not Jerry guy. So I got to take my glasses off. What a nerd. What a nerd with his controls, his access controls. I just circumvented that. Okay, so check it out. As an example, here's 5 different types of hooks, okay? That first one's not going to work. You could start with a story, right? Like kind of like, like let's say you're briefing them on needing money for like a new tool or something. Instead of just saying like, hi, we have an increased likelihood of compromise from happening, and I'm requesting $200,000 to roll up Security Onion. You could start with a story and be like, imagine, if you will, tomorrow you come in and our business is down. We are not making money, and we won't be for a very long time. Why? Because we were unable to detect a threat actor in an environment and they rolled out ransomware. We are not making money. But don't worry, I have a solution for that hypothetical situation. Security Onion is going to be able to help us detect and make sure, like basically, you know what I mean? Like capture it that way. You could start with a quote, right? There's a famous quote like, those who don't learn from their mistakes are bound to repeat them, or those who don't learn from history are bound to repeat them, right? Start with that quote and then say, listen, an industry competitor of ours just experienced a massive cyber attack that cost them $35 million. We can learn from their experience. Allow them to spend $35 million to make our business more secure. How? They didn't have detections. We need Security Onion, right? Like basically you need to hook the audience, okay? Using like those techniques. So hopefully that helps. All right. So people in jaw jacking want jaw jacking on Thursday. All right. Well, stay tuned. Come back on Thursday and we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens, okay? All right, guys. It's 9:30. I'm going to boogie out of here. Got a lot going on. I'm going to be making a video about fabric. I'm going to be making a video about GRC certification roadmaps. I'm kind of like big on certifications right now. Rex says, what does an email use to hold its bait? A fishing hook. Oh my God.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Thanks for the super chat. And James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Brother from another mother there, Rex. I also want to show you guys, this is like a little teaser, because I've been working on this and I kind of like got it. I got it in like a final draft state this weekend. But check this out. Here's a book I'm working on. GRC Cyber Certs, Grow Your Career by Targeting the Right Cert. Check this out. Like, this book is like 45 pages long, and it basically walks you through the different, you can see like, I don't even have the pictures in yet. Like I just placeholdered it. But I start with entry level, I go to mid level, and then I go to advanced level. I do different ones for different industries. I'm excited about this. This is like a giant. Oh, and I go into like each cert exam, like how's it broken up? Like what can you expect? All of this book, I'm super pumped about it. And my favorite part, this book's going to be free, $0. But it's not done yet. I am super excited about it. Like I said, it's in draft right now. It'll probably be ready in a few weeks, maybe a month. But I'm super excited about it. So stay tuned for that. Sorry, I know Mike Fields is trying to get into the SOC, but whatever. I was inspired. So I started working on this as like a little side project, little fun project. But I'll tell you right now, it will be, you won't have to pay for this book. Although, you know what's a struggle? When you make things free, people think they're worthless, which blows my mind. It's like so hard. But it is what it is, guys. So, all right, guys. This has been jaw-jacking, 30 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it. We rolled over a couple extra minutes. Be well. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Excuse me. I'm Jerry Guy from... hold on. I'm Jerry Guy. Hold on. Chuck, hold on. I love myself some Chuck Sapp. Why is Chuck Sapp booing? I have no context for this, but Chuck Sapp's a borderline national treasure. Chuck, I need to know. Oh, you're not booing out of disdain. You're booing out of holiday seasons. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Crisis averted. Chuck Sapp is in good spirits. This is why I was surprised. Chuck Sapp's an awesome dude. Oh, because of the jaw jacking on Thursday. Oh, I see. All right. You guys be well. I'm going to go do some work. Be well. Crush it. To all those who are taking exams today, this week, get out there and nail it. All right. Final question. Andrew Bell, new to cyber, been in a boot camp through NC State. Should I go to help desk to get the SOC position? You can, if you can get into help desk, you can worm your way into the SOC that way, especially if the company that has the help desk has a SOC. You could definitely do that. All right, guys. Be well. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, stay secure. Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content.